Hey, I'm Andrew.
I am Ben.
We are the Electric Sons, and we're going to rewind our new single, Arrival. So we released a new single a few weeks ago, and it's the first of many new singles that we will be releasing over the course of the next year. The song is Arrival. And if you haven't already heard the song, I recommend that you go get your ears on it because there are definitely spoilers in this video. Arrival is about growing up in, I suppose, Gen Z or millennial terms. How do you find a meaningful relationship in a sea of social media fakery? How do you become an adult when you feel underprepared and unqualified, even though you've spent your entire life doing the thing that you've been doing? From my perspective, I think you find little bits of happiness every day, and then little by little and piece by piece, you find your own happiness. Which leads us to my contribution to the song, lyrics and vocals. I really wanted the lyrics and the overall approach to the vocals to kind of be drowsy, a little tired, a little exhausted from everything you've experienced in not only your day, but your life. And I'm not entirely sure why, but writing the very first lyric of the song is the most cripplingly anxious experience I have in the entire process of writing a song. And it's kind of like going in for a hug when someone is expecting a handshake. It can kind of ruin the entire interaction. Let's take a listen. I think in this case, it ended up being okay because the first lyric of this song really sums up the whole feeling in a really simple and relatable way. Let's check out the next lyric. I think something that, as I've gotten older, sank in very subtly. Everything around you changes, but you still feel the same inside. And I think that's something that everybody needs to try to hold on to for dear life. And the chorus also was a huge factor in us actually finding the rest of the track, because when you got that chorus, you can't not chase it down. The lyrics in this chorus are kind of funny, and I think it sums up a maybe sad feeling in a way that we can all kind of smirk at. Can't count how many times I've been late for work because my phone is stuck between my mattress and my headboard. And the last lyric that really, I think, was beautiful to me was, I think came way too early. It ended up being on the bridge, which I think was maybe the second line that we wrote on the whole thing. And it was very existential, but something that had always sat in the back of my mind that gave me comfort, even if it's not true. It somehow gave me comfort.
It's so easy to pretend that my life will never end. Maybe I will never die.
A lot of times where I wish it were true. There's so many beautiful things to experience and see, and maybe we won't. You never know. Thanks for listening to my portion of Rewind. Up next is Ben.
Oh my goodness gracious. What's up, everybody? I'm Ben. I'm going to be running through the production, songwriting, inception sort of stuff of our song Arrival. So let's take a look. So Arrival started with a beatbox that I've done since I was a kid. I'll demonstrate it for you now. It's not good, but this is what it is. I've just done that since I was a kid. So I was curious for turning that into a drum beat, just seeing what that sounded like, which I will play for you now. Right? So after we had our little beat, next step is the keys typically for us. And so we have Juno 106 here, which is a classic synthesizer from the 80s. I've been using it and I try to make it sound sort of un-Juno-like, as like sort of non-80s, like super synthy as possible. In playing with that, we ended up with this sound here. Right, it's like sort of synthy, but not like super thick, kind of 80s synth. And when you put on top of the drums, you just get a little, hey, hey. So this was pretty much the inception of the song. Next, we put the bass on it. We've got a Fender P bass, which is basically a clone of the bass that Andrew's dad has always had, and we used to play with when we were up at his house. So we just love that sound. Just add this real creamy, stanky. It's good. So on top of those, we add our Mellotron layer. A Mellotron is sort of like a synthesizer from the 60s. It's analog. So it gives you this sort of like, very dreamy, vibey sort of tone, which when you put it on top of everything else, this is sort of the last little layer on top of our song. Gives it this sort of otherworldly kind of weirdness, dreaminess. This feels almost like an Al Green song. So once we have kind of like the basic backbone of the track, we do our sort of gibberish melody sessions on top where you just kind of sing and whatever feels good, you just roll with it. You don't really have lyrics. It just is kind of a mess. Let's hear the Electric Suns in process here. I will warn you, there's a lot of male falsetto trying their best. So let's just listen with a creative ear, shall we? So you can hear the chorus is kind of almost there. We've got the kind of the basic feel and structure. It's just kind of refining it down. Later on, we'll get a little bit closer here. This is from later in that session.
And I can't live my life, baby, there's something in me, something I don't wanna admit. 6 o'clock in the morning, and I get beat by falling.
Pretty close, right? Like, it's taking shape. It's close to what the final song ended up being. It's just kind of filling in those last little lyrics. So we also have this recording that Andrew took in Los Angeles at the airport of the sort of PA announcement going on over top. Let's listen. That's a bus. To get that sense of like traveling, not really being sure where you are with things, change. Also kind of speak to the theme of the song. One other quite bizarre thing that made it into the intro of the song is this recording of Andrew and I were like just chatting about something deep stuff, but then it's pitched way down. Here.
Individual thing, you the kind of collective, kind of the us never.
Yeah, man. Really weird, but it's sort of, again, we're trying to get this like dreamy, fever dream sort of state in the intro that's going to come crashing down once the first chorus kicks in. So it helps to sort of illustrate that. So for the final version of the song, we had our good buddy Key Turnage come in and play drums for us on our Ludwig kit that we picked up, little club date kit. So you can hear how a little beatbox turned into sort of a full drum beat for a song that's out and about. Never give up in your dreams, kids. Someday, your beatboxes can get recorded. We also had Chris Ziegler come in and play the final bass for us on that P bass because he's a much better bass player than we are. I wanted to play you a section that I think is just particularly filthy at the end of the song. Oof! It's nasty. So that's sort of how the song came to be, from just a initial beatbox to a couple of voice recordings to this whole finished product. Is kind of, looking back, it's pretty amazing to see everything come together. It's great. So that'll do it for this episode of Rewind. Make sure to go stream the song Arrival at all your favorite streaming platforms. Make sure to subscribe to this channel here. We're going to be having a bunch of new videos, new episodes of Rewind, a whole bunch of stuff coming out on this YouTube channel. Do those things, and we will see you guys next time.
You will get a job.